Hello, it's Bryan here from thegreatgooddino.com, and in this video I'm taking another closer look at one of the points I make in my own quote images, and this one is open to debate, which is fine. I like a good debate. The image I'm looking at is this one. If you can dream it, you can do it. Walt Disney. Ah, Walt Disney, a man who took a little scribble on a little bit of paper and turned it into what is still one of the biggest brands the world has ever known. Now, opinion about Disney as a man is varied. Some people say he was a pioneer. He was a massive goal achiever that set out to do what he decided to do and set high expectations both for himself and for those around him, which lifted everybody up as he went along. Now other people will say no, Disney was a dictator who would ride roughshod over anyone, ruthless in his desire to just get whatever he wanted, that whatever worked for him, either his way or the highway. Woe betide anyone who dared to cross him, and they better be grateful for it. Now I'm going to be honest, as I'm making this video, I don't know enough about those views, the reasons behind those views, to make an informed opinion myself, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about his quote and the way I interpret that quote over the image I took. Now, I took that photo down at Herne Bay on the North Kent coast here in Britain, and I was taking it on one of my trips to go and take pictures of the sunset. And as I was walking along the promenade, I could see the way the setting sun was moving, and it occurred to me that if I got in the right place and waited and timed it right, I'd be able to capture the setting sun just behind one of the gaps in the helter-skelter, and it might look okay. And as it happened, it worked out. So that was good, wasn't it? I dreamt it, I did it, end of video. But hang on though, it's not the end of the video, is it? Because a lot of people will say, oh yes, that's all well and nice. Very, good for you. Fairy tales, castles, princesses, sequins and Disney. But that kind of stuff should stay in Disney films, because in the real world, the idea that, oh, you can dream it, you can do it, is just airy-fairy nonsense. Now, the reason people take that view is because they've either tried goal achievement before and it hasn't worked, so they dismiss the whole concept of it, or they've never even tried in the first place. And that just leaves them resigned to where they are in their current situation, looking at other people who achieve goals and just thinking, oh yeah, it's okay, it's all right for them, it doesn't apply to me. You won't be surprised to hear that's not a view I accept. I don't accept it from myself, and while I accept that other people have that opinion, I try and change it whenever I come across it. Now, in order for me to try and change it, there need to be certain things in place. I need to, as I say, accept that other people think it. I need to understand the reasons why they think it, and I need to be able to offer an alternative. So let's go. When we talk about why people think that if you can dream it, you can do it, is nonsense, it does come down to this fear, and fear of failure that I touched on. Fear that it's not going to work, fear that it's going to be too difficult, fear that other people will laugh, fear that it might cost money, fear about the changes that it'll bring. Now those fears, and I'm not dismissing those fears, they are genuine, real fears that people hold, and they could be based on one previous failure, 2 previous failures, 3, 4 or more previous failures. But that doesn't mean it's always going to apply to future attempts. Or it could be that these fears of failure are not based on any attempts to actually try, they're just based on imagination, about ideas about what will happen. So they've never actually been tried. Now, the alternative that I suggest is coming back to the quote from Disney: if you can dream it, you can do it. And the first step of goal achievement, self-improvement, personal development is to work out what you actually want to achieve. What is the dream, the goal? You need to define it. Because if you can't define it, A, how will you know when you've achieved it? And B, how will you work out how to get there? Both of those are extremely difficult, if not impossible to do, without defining your goal. And that's where the dreaming bit comes in. If we then add in belief, a belief that it can happen and a belief that it will happen, we draw in expectation and implementation. And if you expect that the goal will happen because you believe it and you believe you're worthy of it and you're going to take action to implement it, you'll notice in the quote that Disney didn't say if you dream it, it'll happen just because you've dreamt it. He didn't say that. He said if you dream it, you can do it. So even in the quote, Disney is talking about the doing, the power of the action. You can do it. Once you've defined what it is, it's up to you to do the doing. Now, am I saying, and this is another reason why people dismiss the quote and the idea as nonsense, am I saying that you can achieve anything just because you've dreamt it? No, I'm not saying that. We've already talked about the doing part of it. But even then, there's no guarantee of success. You can do all you want. You can take as much action as you want. But some things you're not going to achieve in your personal case, aren't going to work for you in your personal case. Doesn't matter how much you dream it. Doesn't matter how much you believe it. Now here's two examples. In my case, the way my body is made up, my personal physiology, is not going to allow me to break the world record in the marathon, for example. I'm just not built that way. It's not going to allow me to go into space as an astronaut. My physiology just doesn't allow me. So those things I'm not going to achieve. I can run a marathon, and in fact I have run a marathon. So I can do that, but if I'm going to break a world record, if I dream about breaking the world record in the marathon, no. Because I know my physiology isn't going to allow me to do that. And here's another important point. The reason I know is because I found out. I worked out how you train for a marathon. I set about that training, and that action allowed me to complete the London Marathon way back in 2008. But it did give me the knowledge that I'm not going to be breaking any world records in the marathon. You have to find out, to know one way or the other, how far you're going to get along your goal path. So it's a great quote, I think, from Walt Disney. Look to your dreams. When you dream them, have you defined the goal to a point where you can work out the action plan to get towards it, to work out the very next step, and have you then taken that next step? Because if you do that, you're combining dreaming with doing, and it can open up some amazing adventures in life for you. So I hope you enjoyed that point and the quote from Walt Disney over the image of my photo. If you can dream it, you can do it. If you did enjoy the point, let me know. Leave a comment below wherever you happen to be seeing the video. Pop over and see me at the blog, thegreatgordino.com. Maybe connect with me on social media. Facebook.com/thegreatgordino is my personal profile, and then there's my page, facebook.com/yourlifetransforming. So it's Gordon Bryan signing off for now. I'm getting on with the dreaming and the doing. Make sure that you are too, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.